All right, everyone. So a little bit behind this week, but earlier this week I wrote about movement, and I was fortunate to be working in a school last week in West Texas, and I was in there watching a lesson, and the teacher basically, as a transition, got kids all up, and she's like, "All right, everybody, walk around the room, find a partner, and begin to play rock paper scissors." And I love this activity because we had been in a class for about 5 minutes, and the kids were really engaged in learning, not just engaged through compliance. And for about a minute to 2 minutes, the kids were having fun, they were moving. And then she basically got their attention and continued on with the rest of the lesson. And it really made me think about the whole concept of brain breaks, recess, the importance of physical education. So as I saw this activity, I decided, you know what, let me do some research. And what I found was study after study has shown the positive impact that movement has on learning. And not just recess to lunch, but movement during the instructional day. And the more I thought about it, when we think about students in K 12, the longer they're in school, the less movement there is. You know, we see lots of movement elementary, a little less at middle school, and even a lot less at the high school level. You know, using instructional time to get kids up and moving is not a waste of time. Movement is learning. And that's the one thing I learned as I looked at all the research. So we can't look at it as a waste of time if we build into our lessons, 30 seconds to 2 minutes tops. And that's what the research said. That's all you need, 30 seconds. It could be different activities. When we think about one of the most popular platforms now, which is GoNoodle, I see it for transitions a lot in blended learning classrooms. And kids will go up and direct the GoNoodles. But it doesn't have to be GoNoodle, so you don't have to have technology. It's just the intentional planning of movement into lessons. So when we think about ways that we could increase movement, whether it's brain breaks, recess, or more physical education. I mean, let's just talk about recess. I mean, we need to think about adding recess not just for elementary, but what about middle? And let's even get bold. What about implementing recess in high school? Might not be very popular, but we do know that movement is very important. I think that we also have to incorporate activities in the lesson regardless of age. How we build in time and not let the curriculum or the lesson of the day prohibit us from building in that precious time for our kids. And again, I think another factor when we think about the importance of movement is it doesn't have to be long. 30 seconds to 2 minutes every 20 minutes physical activity. So, if technology is available, go for GoNoodle. If not, kids can stand in place. They can run in place. They can do the rock, paper, scissors. But what we have to remember is, I remember back when I was a principal, I was not keen on the concept of brain break. But it was the concept of how I saw it being used. I observed a teacher who was very adamant about kids needing brain breaks. And what it really was a just pause in instructional time where kids sat in their desks as part of the brain break. But now, as I've been enlightened in my work as a coach, a brain break is all about movement. So don't look at kids moving in class as a poor use of instructional time. As research has shown, movement is an essential component of learning. If our goal is to help kids become better learners, then we have to get better at incorporating movement in school. So I'd love to hear on Twitter how you're incorporating movement. I did have a nice little exchange yesterday about how we could do it with older kids. And I shared a story when I was doing PD with adults, because adults got to be moving too. And in that PD, when I saw everyone getting a little drained, I basically integrated GoNoodle, and unfortunately, I selected the first activity on the GoNoodle, and it was Can't Touch This by MC Hammer. Not only did I learn how bad of a dancer I was, but I now learned the mad respect that I have for MC Hammer. So again, more recess, physical education every single day, regardless if kids are playing sports. More brain breaks for movement. That's it, everybody. Have a great weekend.